I never did a commercial before. I am so excited I got maggot bumps.
Is that like goosebumps?
Well, only on me they're called maggot bumps because they're disgusting.
I did 3 bug spray commercials, all 3 great death scenes.
Too bad I missed them.
They went something like this. They got me! Oh, it's over. I'm heading to the giant garbage can in the sky. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, friends. Good. Oh.
Don't go, little buddy. Larry.
I was only acting.
It's a miracle he's back from the dead.
Yep. All right, here we go. Light.
Hold it. I need makeup.
What did you say?
I need make-up.
Makeup!
Let's go to the commercial. Right after this freaky story.
This here's a true story. Happened to a friend of mine, Willie the Warren. You see, when it comes to being a no-good, double-crossing thief even other thieves hate, Willie takes the cake. Not to mention the china, the silverware, and anything else he can lay his hands on. But what he did to his partner, Jelly Roll Gerald, that was the worst. See, Willie and Gerald was doing a museum heist, one of them highfalutin capers planned to the nth degree. This was getting into the museum at night when the museum is closed and there ain't no guard. You can't get caught if there ain't no guard, right? Wrong. You see, all is going according to Hoyle, till the alarm goes. The guys scramble, trying to get out of there before the cops showed up. Now Jelly Roll Gerald, he gets caught in a heat vent, stuffed like a beluga whale in a sardine can. Suddenly, Willie sees an opportunity to up his share of the haul from 50% to 100%. If the cops grab his partner in crime, all the loot is his. He amscrays out of there. But later, on the radio, the police report that Gerald went and had himself a heart attack, which is what 42 years of eating nothing but fudge and aerosol cheese will do to you. So Willie's in mourning for about 2 seconds. You see, Willie needs a place to stash the swag until it heats off. So at Gerald's funeral, he slips the entire haul into Gerald's jumbo-sized coffin. Then all he has to do is wait. Easy, right? But once again, wrong. You see, this is when the phone calls start. Now, the first one happens in the middle of a big thunderstorm that's knocking down power lines everywhere and making Willie's apartment darker than my ex-wife's heart. Suddenly, the phone rings and Willie picked it up. All he hears is a creepy, croaky voice saying, "Willie, I know what you did." Then the line goes dead. Willie starts to sweat a little and phones the operator. Then he gets even sweatier when the operator can't trace the call. But there was a call, a real call. It's not Willie having delusions. Or was he? Even worse, the calls keep coming, not just at his apartment, but on his cell phone, at the diner, the track, the pool hall, everywhere. And every time it's exactly the same. "Willie, I know what you did." This whole situation is eating at Willie's gut. He's grown an ulcer the size of a rock. That's Alcatraz we're referring to. And Willie starts to think, what if this jamuck saw Willie at the funeral and knows where the loot is buried? What if this guy's already dug it up? Now that'd be a grave problem. Willie has to make sure his investment is safe. Time to shovel off to the cemetery. When he gets there, a sudden flash of lightning illuminates the graveyard, and Willie's heart stops. The storm knocked the telephone line directly on top of Gerald's grave. Like, was this a clue? Were the spirits of the hoodlums trying to tell him something? Did all those calls come directly from his expired ex-partner? And if so, what kind of long-distance plan did Gerald have to be making so many calls from heaven? On second thought, Willie wouldn't be calling from heaven. He'd be calling from... "Hello," he says when his cell phone rings. Guess who? Again, it's... "Willie, I know what you did." Okay, so Willie's scared for a minute, but he's a practical joke. He knows it can't be Gerald, right? So he ups and gets tough. "You're not scaring me, whoever you are," he screams. "Stop wasting my time. Call someone else for a change." And with that, Willie begins to dig up Gerald's coffin to make sure that his worst nightmare ain't happening. And also to check that his retirement fund is still safe. And then his cell phone rings again. It can't be Gerald, because he's staring at Gerald, and Gerald's just laying there, stiff as a stiff. And this time, the voice says,
Willie, you were right. I called someone else.
And suddenly, Willie is blinded by a bunch of powerful lights. Everywhere he looks, police cars are pulling up around him, and he's got all the evidence they need to convict him right in his hands. And he's being placed under arrest for the museum heist. All he can hear is ghoulish laughter coming out of his cell phone. Or is it coming out of Gerald's grave? That was a true story. Happened to a friend of mine, Willie the Worm. The only guy I know who went directly from digging dirt in the graveyard to pounding rocks in a prison yard.
Let us see what InVisGro hair restorer can do.
One little spray. It's invisible, it's odorless, but boy, what it can do.
I cannot see it. I cannot smell it.
And yet, voila! So remember, folks, one little spray. Right about now, we should be going for another freaky story.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine, Jordan's. My mom says he has a cast iron stomach, which is because of what he can eat without throwing up. Like yesterday, for lunch, Jordan brought a sardine sandwich, all oily and drippy, sour cream, and deep-fried fatty lamb chops, which is kind of what he eats all the time. But one night, Jordan must have been trying for the disgusting book of records. He had macaroni and gooey cheese, a chili burger with tons of onions, a strawberry float, and weak old sweet and sour kimchi. No big surprise that he didn't exactly have a peaceful night. And speaking of night, that's what Jordan dreamed he was. A knight with a K. He had the armor and the sword and all that knight stuff, because the king told him he had to fight the dragon if he wanted to marry the beautiful princess, which is what knights with a K do. This dragon was huge and disgusting. More huge and more disgusting than any dragon he'd ever seen. Probably because he was dreamed up out of Jordan's disgusting meal. And the dragon lived in a forest made of overripe collard green trees, with limp spaghetti vines, a moldy banana yogurt lake, a lumpy oatmeal swamp, and a raw liver mountain, with a sour rocky road peak. Jordan faced off with the dragon, the brave little knight. Jordan dreamed he was a lot braver than he was for real. Challenged the dragon to a fight. The dragon slimed him, but not plain old green slime. This dragon slime was sort of chunky, with bits of chopped up pimento loaf and creamed onions. The first shot was a direct hit. The icky slime slithered down Jordan's suit of armor. He vowed, that's what knights do, they make vows, to destroy the dragon. I just want to take a time out here to warn you, this gets a lot worse. So if you get easily upset by gross sights, now's the time to close your eyes. Okay, back to the story. Jordan flailed away with his big sword, but the dragon just backed away and let Jordan have it with another spew. Splat! Yuck! Jordan was furious. He reached into his knight's bag of tricks and came up with a bow and arrow, a lance, and a club. The arrows did nothing. The dragon swatted them away like they were flies, but still, they made him mad. He let go another load of chunky slime. Splat! Jordan wondered, since his stomach was truly so used to disgusting food combinations, why he was starting to feel sick. But not to worry, it was only a dream. So Jordan fought on. With his lance, he charged at the dragon, like he once saw when he went to the medieval-themed restaurant, where the waiters had a mock jousting contest. And Jordan got the dragon, right in the gut. And you know what squirted out? You guessed it, chunky slime. Which not only made Jordan feel his dinner gurgling up into his throat, it made him mad. 9 years of conditioning his stomach to take anything Jordan could shove in it wasn't about to be undone by one measly dragon. Jordan swung at the dragon with his club. The dragon tossed him back with a wad of slime. Slap! This is about when Jordan heard this loud rumble of thunder. Good, he thought. A nice rain shower would sure help clear the air. Only what he heard wasn't thunder. It was the dragon's stomach. The fighting was upsetting him. Jordan knew. Maybe not by the rumble, but by the look on the dragon's face, all scrunched up with teary eyes like it was about to explode. No question about it, the dragon was about to toss its cookies. Jordan took off. The dragon chased after him, through the tangle of limp spaghetti vines, over the brown banana yogurt lake and oatmeal swamp, and up the liver mountain all the way to the rocky road peak. Frozen in place like a deer caught in headlights, just as the dragon let it all out. An avalanche of chunky slime, enough to bury Jordan, just as he woke up. What a dream! Thank goodness it was only a dream. Still, all that running sure made Jordan hungry, so he got out of bed, slid his feet into his slippers, and... Ew! His slippers were filled with chunky slime! That was a true story. It happened to a friend of mine, Jordan, who, surprise, surprise, put himself on a strict diet of tea and crackers. Only once or twice a week does he sneak himself a corn dog with grape jelly.